All right, what's going on, fam? Welcome back to another great episode of Our Smooth Club, the show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. I'm Arrington Gavin, and alongside me and my bros, I have Mr. Donnell Britt, Dapper Luke, and Mr. Jonathan Jones. Gentlemen, how's everyone doing this evening?
Good, man.
Great. That's awesome. Everybody looks good, man. I love the look. Dapper, I love the pants, that plaid.
Okay. I gotta step my game up.
I'm telling you, I forgot.
You can't have a name like Dapper Luke.
It's true. That's true. That's true.
I gotta rep the brand.
Well, look, fellas, look, I want to start the first topic of the show. Really, I'm talking with Luke about. I think there's a trend where there's a lot of boys becoming fathers before they're becoming men, and I remember on the last episode how we were talking about, hey, how, is it come from how they're raised? Where, is it the lack of conversation maybe parents might not have with their kids, with the birds and the bees? So like, what's going on? So I just wanted to kind of open, not to criticize anybody, but again, just want to learn. And, what do you think about that, fellas? Anybody can start.
I mean, I'll start. I 100% was raising a child and wasn't a man. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I had a child at the age of 20 years old, but I was in the military for about 2 years, but I really didn't know what I was doing. So I believe that. But I'm not saying it was a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I wasn't raised by my father. You know what I'm saying? So, I was new into the world. All I knew was what I saw on the streets. So, what I saw on TV, and there was a lot of trial and error, especially with my first son. Now, by now I got it right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do believe that happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things for me, and I think this rings true for not just men, also women, right? I think a man's presence, an older man, is definitely necessary within a home. For me, and we talked about this on a previous episode, it's not far too often we think of the man as disciplinarian. That's all he does is discipline the child. But we also need, his guidance, his strength, how does he react to situations? So I think for me, kind of like Donnell, I had my first son when I was, 21. And there was just things that I just did not know because I did not have the experience. It's not until the child is here that, what do I do this? What a situation? So I would call my mother, I would call my uncles, and I would ask questions because now, I have this question because this is happening to me now. Mm-hmm. So, with anything, even if you necessarily don't have the experience, but you have that,
support system,
that village that you can reach out to and get information. I think that's good, and if you have that, I think that's really good.
That's awesome. What do you think, JJ?
I know personally because I don't have kids. You don't have kids.
We don't have kids.
No kids.
But we know some people.
We know a couple. That's what I was about to say. So like I've noticed like a lot of them were younger. So like that was just one thing. I was like, I know for damn sure I ain't ready. But like the ones who had them when they were younger, like most of my friends, they've had like good family support that like really helped them. And like the kids are living a good life. Like,
and that's the main thing. I mean, the support system. I could imagine because there's families out there. Hey, they might not have the support system, and they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I mean, I commend them for working hard, raising a good kid. Because I know plenty. I know a few of my buddies that had that had kids, and it was rough. But I mean, I say, hey, look, I'm your bro, man. If you need anything, I can, I'll buy some of the clothes for them or something like, something to kind of uplift them, and because at the end of the day, if it's not planned, they're anxious, they're nervous. They're like, oh my gosh, what's my plan? I haven't even finished school yet. I haven't done this yet. I don't even know what my degree is, gonna be or something like that. So it's a lot. But I just wanted to kind of bring that up, fellas, because and
I was gonna say one of the things kind of going on the line. I think you were just traveling down. One of the things, the big misconceptions of children is when I have a child, I want to give my child what I did not have, right? Mm-hmm. And that a lot of times it comes in the form of material items. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, I bought my sons dirt bikes. I bought them, Nikes. I thought that's what I needed to be giving them. And that's really not what I needed to be giving them, right? Children need, support, stability, and someone's going to teach them, right? The material items are nice, but they're definitely not necessary. You know what I'm saying? So, I tell my kids all the time, right? My kids would be like, Dad, I need some new shoes. Like, do you need new shoes or do you want new shoes, right? I'm like, all you need is clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and food. You don't need the newest Jordans. You know what I'm saying? You don't need those. You want those, but you don't need those. So, definitely. I think, as we, and I'm sure you gentlemen, once you start to have kids, you're going to be a little older when you have your children. Like you said, you see people that have had, younger than you. And I just simply say that, yes, give your children what they need, not always what they want, because they're going to want a lot, and, you just kind of being strong-willed, understanding, but some things, you want to, like, I know my children, that's my youngest son, he's like a scholar, so I want to give him a lot because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Hard, you got,
you know what I'm saying? You don't just want to discipline them. Also, when they're doing well, treat them, so they continue to do well. And those are the things, like I said, you just kind of learn, as you're in it,
Yeah, I was told one time the kid needs your presence, not presents. Right. And so it kind of, because I did the same thing, man. I wanted to Jordans, you buy your kid everything, whatever, baby. And coming up, but you learn that ultimately we got to learn as men to be that emotional person and being able to talk to our sons and our daughter. Like I got a daughter and I want to let her know that you don't got to go do nothing with nobody. You can talk to daddy can help you out. I want to be in her life, because a lot of times when we get with women, that's what they talk about, their childhood and not having a father, right? Or not having their father present at all times. Like he might have came and gave us some money, but they really wanted a relationship with their father. And so I think about all those things that was told to me from different women I've talked to, and I want to be that type of person, you know what I'm saying, for my kid. Absolutely. But I will admit, again, I struggled as a single father because I thought that's all I needed to do was just give. And I mean, these days, guys still playing video games. I don't play them, but they playing the video game, trying to do change the diaper, all that at the same time. They just young, man. And I mean, we said 20 and 21, but it's kids 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, they'll be live on video games with the headphones. They thought I got to change the diaper real quick. That's a father or mother, and that's tough. And without mother, grandfather, uncle, best friend, whoever, it's pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Well, fellas, I definitely appreciate, your feedback on that. And again, with this show, I want to definitely inform, for young people that do watch the show, man, you see all these groups of guys that, great advice accomplished. And, all we're doing is here to definitely share some knowledge and, inform you on that. So, look, we'll be right back with our Smooth Club.
Rugged Evolution Beard Care is the hottest new beard care in the market. With 16 amazing scented balms and oils, you can choose which smell you want to try with our new sample balm and oil set, or use the mustache moisturizer and our new leave-in conditioner. Don't forget to add a wooden comb to glide through your beard without snag. Check out our website at ruggedevo.com or call for a private consultation 855-848-3029. And remember, Rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back to our Smooth Club. All right, fellas, change it up a little bit. Different age groups here. We've all had different things in our life that have maybe changed who we are. Maybe not some traumatic event or something big or small, but what's one thing that you could just say that made you kind of look at life a little bit differently? Personally, for me, I definitely think traveling. Me and this guy, we went to Vietnam. He actually went twice, and we went there for 2 weeks, and there was just so many just eye-opening events, just funny stories, but just seeing how people live and a whole different side of the world. Just you always see it on TV, but until you're there, and not just there for a little bit, we were there for 2 weeks.
2 straight.
That was a long time, and it was fun. It definitely it taught me a lot, just internally. So what about you guys?
I would say the exact same place. At the time we our school were doing a lot of community service trips, mission trips, and they always went to Nicaragua. They did that 24/7, and they started something new.
Yeah, everybody
going.
I thought that was the fun trip.
They was always going. So they said, we're gonna start one with Vietnam, and everybody was like, communists. They were like, no, absolutely not. So the very first time they did it, it was just 8 of us, 8 students, and it was not a mission trip. It was more like a community service trip because when we got there, we were helping build like this small dorm for a village. They went to school, but they always used to like walk miles to get to school. And they have lost some students because they said, look, we had a mudslide that students were, and it was like, wow. But you never realize like this is totally different from going to like a vacation or if you're going to enjoy yourself. When you actually see people in need from a different country, it blew my mind. And so for me, it just, I was always raised, just to, be humble, be grateful for what you have. But until you see that, it's like, wow, this really like, that I would say Vietnam was definitely the one because you see the way people are living and then, we'd be the first ones to complain about something. I'm like, what, let me stop all that mess because there's people out there that don't,
doing a lot worse.
Like what you were saying, about the shoes. I mean, like, I can be like, man, I gotta have that Invicta watch. I gotta have it. But you know what? There's a family out there that might not have food on their, plate or food on their table or something like that. So I would definitely say Vietnam. We stayed in Hanoi, Vietnam, which was like the city. And we stayed there for Sapa on the island. It was a beautiful place. I mean, I would love to go back. It was a beautiful place, meet some great people. The funny thing is you don't see a lot of black people there. So they just assume you had to be a star or, somebody famous and they would be waiting there like, and I'm like, I can kind of enjoy this a little bit, but man, you walk out there, they're swarming. You can't walk, anywhere.
Get some money, some things like that.
Oh yeah, tell you something.
For me, it was definitely martial arts as a teenager, right? So when I was 12, I got into martial arts. Actually, I kind of stumbled upon it because I grew up, again, East Baltimore, but I went to a middle school that was outside of my district, right? It's very district related. And one day when I was walking from middle school to the bus, I had like missed the bus. I saw this Kung Fu place. And so I go in, got information on it, and I wind up taking Kung Fu. So like my very first job as a teenager, I was a martial arts instructor. I was a martial arts instructor at 15. And, I traveled to not Vietnam, but I traveled to San Francisco. I traveled to Orlando, Florida for martial arts tournaments.
Wow.
So I think definitely martial arts. I began learning Chinese. I had a Chinese girlfriend. When I was a teenager. But like that definitely opened me up to a whole nother culture, a whole nother way of life, and just thinking outside of Baltimore City. And I think that's why I ultimately joined the military, because I wanted to get out and see more of the world. It definitely made me just not content with, Baltimore City. I know a lot of people, Virginia, Kings Dominion was like the extent of their vacation.
Yes.
So, I mean, like for me, I wanted to see other countries. I wanted to see the world. And so if I had not got the exposure to martial arts, had exposure to a whole nother culture, I don't know where I would have been. I may have just stayed home in Baltimore, got a job and kind of did what everybody else did.
Wow.
But it definitely made me want to get outside of my element and see more of the world that I wasn't, seeing in Baltimore.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, for me, man, I'm gonna be honest, it was probably 7 years ago. And that's when I hit rock bottom, right? So people look at me now as a successful businessman in the companies that I own. But when I was starting Diamond Sports Group, I had an event and then I didn't have enough money to travel to the event, enough operating budget, nothing, right? But I had enough to send my people. And they were supposed to be at the event. And of course, we take money and we sell stuff and they were supposed to bring the money back, but they stole the money.
Wow.
Right. And so I went in a deep depression. I didn't have any more money. I was in the military, but I was getting a divorce. So that money was going crazy places. And I had a decision to make. I was laying in the bed and I just was praying. And I said, God, help me out, because I really want to do this, but I don't know if I can. And I went to bed, woke up the next day, and I felt different. Went into my things, saw my watches, went and pawned all my watches. Anything I could pawn, I pawned, right? Bracelets, anything I had of value, I went to the pawn shop, pawned it to get myself through the next couple of weeks to our next paycheck. And then I told everybody who was working for me, for the next 3 months, no one's getting paid. Either you with me or you're not, right? If you're going to be with me, I promise you after this 3 months, I'm going to pay everybody. If you're not, no hard feelings, walk away. Those that stayed. Those that left. Here we are today, multi-million-dollar company. But that changed my life. And I look at life differently now. it also affects the way I trust people,
Mhm.
you know, with the money. But I would say that was the turning point of my life, because I could have went either way. I could just say, you know what, forget it, man. I'm just going to retire from the military and go get a GS job or whatever.
Mhm.
But I stayed the path, man. So that was the biggest, I think, thing that really, for me, changed my life, other than falling out. But I talked about that with the diabetes thing. And I'll talk about that on another episode probably. But those were the two things. But I would say I want to go back to that, because I think a lot of people look at us as businessmen and think that we just poofed and we got
It's
here.
all easy. They think it's all
Right.
easy.
And so now you see people want to have their own beer come. They want to have Dapper Dan on the side. They want to sell teach. Whatever we do, the people think is that easy, and they don't know the struggle that it took to get there. You know what I'm saying? And I was rock bottom, man. I was done. I was no money, no nothing, nobody to turn to, but God. So I thank God that He took care of me, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know that was
a lot deeper than what I was
crazy.
asking.
you said it's okay to cry, right? You said
Yeah.
my goodness,
That
that was needed though. That was whew.
Yeah.
Good topic, JJ.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. But all right, this is our Smooth Club. We'll take a quick break.
Dapper Luke Collection is a full custom clothier located in Virginia Beach. Our goal is to give you a full custom experience. Follow us and schedule your appointment at dapperluke.com. Let us create your perfect custom look for your perfect wedding, prom, graduation, or anniversary. All right, welcome back to R Smooth. I'm your guy, Dapper Luke. All right, so I want to bring in a topic that I think is kind of outside the spectrum of topics, but I think it's really one that hits home for me. So I often hear the term toxic masculinity, right? People kind of throw it out there whenever they're talking about a man being overbearing, or it leads towards him disrespecting women or even abuse of women because it is toxic. He feels like he has to be a man. But one term that you don't hear very often is, toxic femininity, or even toxic homosexuality. An example that I can think of toxic homosexuality is the WNBA, right? Within the WNBA, they sometimes talk about women that have quit the WNBA because the homosexuality was so rampant in the locker room, they began to feel uncomfortable, right? So do y'all think that, there is a such thing as like toxic homosexuality, or even femininity, whereas people are pushing on their views and it makes them toxic around other people?
I mean,
in this day and age, definitely, now the whole Me Too and stuff, just people on Twitter, I stay up on Twitter, people that say the wildest stuff, and if you're gay, you say something, you can say the wildest thing that you want and nobody would even question it.
Because you're gay.
It's just this day and age, and I don't have anything wrong, obviously, with anybody being gay, but the stuff that they say, it's if it was the opposite way around, and it was a male, there was no way they would cancel that man or whoever.
Correct. Yeah, and just kind of going off of that, right? Like you said, if a gay man starts hitting on or saying something about a straight man, no one bats an eye, right? But if a straight man comments a woman or talks, why are you talking about her? But the gay guy can say whatever he wants about a guy and no one says anything. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying that it's right either one, but why are we judging one? We're not judging the other. Or society just kind of accepts one but doesn't accept the other. But I think, I mean, me personally, I don't want them hitting on me. You know what I'm saying? You hit on somebody that's doing what you're doing, and then that's fine with you. But, so I respect everyone the same. I don't, just because you're this way, I'm going to treat you one way. I treat everybody the same, or at least I try to,
She was kind of different too, the NFL. Remember Michael Sam? I think he was the first. Well, she wasn't I think they ended up finding
the first to probably
openly gay. It was some other guy. Yeah, but when I know,
did he ever make the NFL?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That dude had 4 games. Honestly, he got drafted, which was he got drafted in like round 10 or 11,
Round
which
20,
which
20th
one
round.
that you never televised, right? But because it was a historic moment, that they had televised it. He got drafted by the Rams. Short time, I think it was still preseason. Got cut, went to Dallas, got cut, and I think he did a very short stint in the CFL, and I think he ended up retiring. But where was I going with that? No, he was as far as the accepted, it wasn't I think as accepted in the NFL though, as far as what the because guys are like saying, what's your thoughts? So if you got to share a locker room with him, no, I don't know about that, man. And people they got criticized for saying that, but I mean, again, I'm like, hey, that's can't like dog him too much about it, but
yeah, but he definitely wasn't the only male that has ever played in the NFL that was gay.
I
think the issue is openly gay. So now they worried somebody gonna see his, what I'm saying, he gonna say something to them or whatever. That guy ain't gonna say it. I don't think he would have said.
Yeah,
that.
I mean he's been in the locker room his whole life, and like you said, just because I don't openly say, hey, I'm gay, doesn't mean you're not gay. You're not looking at me a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't openly said it. So the one thing with sexuality, it's what you tell. If I can like you, I can be attracted to you and never tell you. You know what I'm saying? But what I choose to say, that's what makes the difference. You know what I'm saying? So just because Sam is not in the NFL doesn't mean there's no gay people in the NFL. There's just no one's ever talked about it in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I doubt if anybody would ever be openly gay coming through the draft again because of what happened with him. I think most scouts or whatever tell him will advise against it. Unfortunately, I mean, because it's.
But why is it even necessary?
But
you know what I'm saying? Why is it even necessary?
And it's some people that says that some people would think he was blackballed because he came openly.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Because I think he was like defensive player of the year for.
He absolutely was.
What he played at Mizzou? What was it? SEC or
he should have won in the first couple rounds. He went in the whatever round.
And he was a defensive end. I mean, hella athlete. Again, he was defensive player of the year out of all those schools. And I mean, this man can't even make it through a preseason with two teams. I mean, it was definitely like, okay, what's up?
Then some teams though they don't want the publicity around their team. You know what I'm saying? So that could have been another thing. Like
they're gonna lose revenue from that. multi-billion-dollar industry. You know?
Look at Cap. I mean, they never. If he would have said that earlier or late, he still don't have a shot. So they would feel uncomfortable with other people doing what he did. So again, with what Michael Sam did, and and then on top of that too, when he got drafted, it showed him celebrating it with his boyfriend. So he's embracing him and this and that, all the celebration. So
I do remember that. So because they had him, he wasn't at the like.
He was at home.
He was at home. He was remote. He was live broadcasting it.
Yeah.
When he got drafted. Yeah. So he wasn't at like wherever they were having the draft. He was at home.
And I mean, and again, it's not. And I mean, honestly, it's sad because again, I could care less what you are. You could do whatever you want. This man was a talented football player. He should have had more opportunities than he did. Absolutely.
And there's no reason why he couldn't physically make it through a preseason.
Absolutely.
Unless he got hurt, which he did not get hurt.
I mean, but Greg Hardy can get like multiple offers.
Yeah, and he's sitting there, and even what was the one Incognito? He was choking folks and beating up folks.
And bullied the other kid.
He bullied the one guy down in Miami.
Yep, and he got to finish out his career, retired with the Bills and stuff. So.
And kind of flipping on that with the toxic femininity, right? So one thing that I always hear, is a woman telling a man, man up, right? Why is a woman allowed to say that to a man? Have you ever heard a man tell a woman up? Like,
they got slapped after that. Like, what you trying to say? It's about that other chick, huh? It's about that.
Like, I mean, it's just one of those things where a woman. I hate it when a woman tells a man to man up because you have no idea what it means to man. What is manning up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you would never hear a man go from like, woman up, girl. Like, but you need a woman up.
Woman up.
Jeez, go in the kitchen and woman up. Woman up. Like, that's just something you don't hear. But women are always like, you need to man up. You need to toughen up. You soft, and I don't think they should be doing that.
Absolutely not.
So at the end of the day, I just think that you should not push your sexuality or push your preference onto anybody. Let them be how they're going to be. And then let people be who you are. Let them be who they're going to be. And don't try to just push anything on anybody. Let them be. This is the R Smooth Club. We shall have the short break.
Check out What's Going On Wednesday, a weekly vlog with co-hosts Arrington Gavin and Jonathan Jones. Hear them speak on topics such as sports, men's health, business, current events, and so much more. You don't want to miss as they tackle a range of funny and serious topics. Catch them every Wednesday on YouTube at Rugged Evo TV. Rugged is the new smooth.
All righty, gents. So welcome back. I want to propose a toast. Like we said, we're all businessmen, all successful. So some more trials and tribulations. I think they are necessary to really help you grow and understand within any industry. So much success.
Yes, sir.
Year.